sexual preference and bigotry. You can see it in Ukraine, you can see it in Syria, you can see it all over the world. It feeds the segregation of the human race. It feeds, it sucks the blood out of the human race. They hate each other. They keep each other hating each other. And that's the wrong way, the wrong road to go. It's the wrong road to travel. It's the wrong road to travel because it leads down the road to hell. It leads down the road to places like Syria and Ukraine and other nations like that, throughout the Middle East, throughout the West. It's hate. These types of people are just driven by hate, power, and greed. And that's the problem with the world today. It's these types of leaders, like Assad, hate, pure hate. They're driven by hate, pure hate of the West, pure hate of the Middle East. And we're all people on this earth. We're all the human race. And this is why I wanted the human race to come together. This is why I wanted the people of the human race that are like me, that don't believe in any of this garbage, this poison, this rhetoric, this egregious hatred, racism, bigotry, and sexual preference in human life, to come together and create a channel, to create a station that speaks for all human beings, speaks for all human life, that speaks for all humanity, every man, woman, and child. Downstream is just a tip of the iceberg that fills the world with war and death and hatred and starvation and hunger and bigotry and racism and sexual preference. And nations where they want to pass laws to kill people, like in Uganda or in the Congo, where they stab women to protect their virginity, to pop their virginity, their hiatus. It's going on all over the world. It's not going to stop. It's not going to quit. It's not going to end until we get together to end. We have to come together as a human race. We have to come together as the human race to bring an end to this type of life, to improve the quality of life for all people, to stop slumlords, to put all slumlords out there. He's not the only one, believe me. He's not the only one that owns buildings in slum areas. He's not the only one. These are people that rent buildings that are dumps, that should be bashed down, that should be rebuilt, or at least repaired or updated. He's not the only one. There are many, many more. Believe me, I've seen it. This is the human life. This is the only life we have. And if we don't stand together and stand for each other and by each other and with each other, the world is going to continue to fall into human hell, human suffering, human agony. I'm sick of the hatred for the world, and the bigotry of the world, and the segregations of the world, the sexual preference of the world. It's just putrid. It's a poison that's years and years and years and years out of date. It's time to grow up. It's time to grow in human life and accept all human life. This will lower crime rates. This will lower hatred crimes. This will help children understand children. This will help all kinds of people. This will help stop children from killing children. Taking the bigotry and racism and sexual preference and all this hatred out of human life into family life will help bring hope to the human race, hope to all people, hope to all human beings, hope to all. This is what I do the shows for. This is what I do the shows for. This is exactly what I do the shows for. The Bill of Human Rights. The Bill of Human Rights, that guy said it's right. The Bill of Human Rights. The Bill of a human being. The human being. The human being has to be the answer to human life. We are the answer to human life, the human being. That's the truth. That's the fact. That's the reality. That's the human life. It was unclear to the Thunder for just a brief moment that, we get to shoot. Now, I'm not a perfect human being, but we need to come together. Understand that. We need to come together as the human race. In these times now more than ever, because poverty is growing. Banks are going bankrupt. People are going to be losing their pensions. It's going to be a world of human hell unless we stand up and start to act in every nation and start to get involved in every nation. Join the fight with me. Join the fight with me and be part of it. Join the fight. Let's fight against those who would make our world a living human hell. Let's fight against those who would make our world a living human hell. But truthfully, honestly, faithfully, I think it's time we all came together as human race. I think it's time we all came together as human race. I think it's long past time that we all came together as human race. Join the fight. Join the fight. Not a violent one, but a peaceful one. Let's prove to these bigots, these haters, these dictators, and these mongrels that verbally we can change the world without bombing and killing and blasting, torturing and butchering each other. Because nobody should live in a nation where barbed wire is hanging around their buildings. Nobody. They feed prisoners but don't feed the people. It's how ridiculous it is. It's like that woman this morning said the execution was okay. They electrocuted a guy for 43 minutes. 43 minutes. I don't care. Torturing people is torturing people. And that was torture. That was nothing but pure torture. They screwed up. Somehow they screwed up. They shot the medicine into his skin, not into his veins. This is what I mean by death. Death penalties, death wishes, death rape. It never ends. It never stops. It's like an end without a beginning. It's like a beginning without an end, brother. I'm sorry. I got the two words confused. But this has to stop. This has to be stopped. It has to end. It has to quit. That's the truth of human life. That's the fact of human life. People fixate on hate and let it absorb them. I fixate on the human race and let it absorb me. And I let it absorb me because I care for the human race. And I think it's time that we protest from a site that can do it, that will do it, and will do it. But this is your choice. I can't make it for you. But I hope people will finally agree with me that it's time to bring a human voice to the world. Not just for people like Donald Sterling, but for all people. For all the Donald Sterlings. For all the people that hate. For all the people that think. That's not what I've known him to be for years. That's the human truth. That's the human view. That's the human fact. That's the human show. I'm not going to make these long shows because I know people have a lot to do. But believe me, if we come together, we are the human masses. We are the human masses like people won't believe. But we can bring change to the world just by the views. Just by the views we can bring change to the world because people will notice the station. People will notice the viewage. People will notice the change in the human race, the gathering of the human race. And that's the power that's been untapped for too many years and needs to be tapped into. Needs to bring everybody together. And this is just a piece of it. This is just a piece of the whole pie of human death and hate and bigotry and racism and sexual preference. It's just the tip of the iceberg. It's going to be more. But we need to bring all the human race together. We need to bring all the human race together. That's the human truth. That's the human fact. That's the human life. That's really the truth. I promise you that we can change it. We can end it. We can stop it. But let's bring it all together under one roof. To protest where people will hear from world to nation, state to state, city to city, town to town, in every corner of the world, with a word that the human race and the human beings are together for the common cause and the good of all human beings. And that's the truth of human life. That's the fact of human life. That's the reality of human life. I don't lie. And the videos I've done here are not made of lies. They're made of human truth. They're made of human fact. And every video of death I've seen. And every video here is the truth of human life. And I hope people will help bring life to a station that needs life, that needs voices, that needs views. This is 7 Billion Human Being Show. Thank you for watching.